Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and now a limerick that I wrote many years and many adventures ago. There once was a man named Enos, a terribly talented pianist. He went to his dentist, he played lots of tennis. You thought I was gonna say penis. Anyhow, TEMUGEDDON is upon us. That's right, boys and girls, it's episode 9 of the Temu edition of Superbudget Showdown. And this week, we're going in on this guy, the butterfly knife. And let's take a look at it real quick. So you've got steel scales with butterflies and I guess grass or something painted on it on both sides. Your pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. Let's flick the bean. You got an assisted opener that's pretty snappy. And you've got an etch on this blade that really does bear a passing resemblance to an engraving. And I do like goofy stuff like this, I'm not going to lie. The gas station is strong on it. However, this thing is interesting. So one of the first things to note, this pocket clip right here wound up being generous enough that I could get it over both my waistband and my belt, which made this an incredibly convenient carry. Now, the scales, everything is broken down nicely. Everything's rounded off. Like, they're nice and flat. Like, everything about this is okay. There was zero hot spotting, zero rubbing, zero any problems. And of course, cracking this bad boy out at work felt natural. I put it through the plastic wrap on the pallets as many times as I could, and getting down to that last little layer, it did reasonably well. I didn't have any major problems outside of I had to push just a little bit harder to get through it. Didn't hang up, didn't tear, didn't do anything that I don't like. So, this thing carried really well. I didn't even bother taking a cheat day from this thing. This thing felt like a normal carry for me. Pretty regular, just a little on the heavy side, but nothing too bad. The pocket clip could have been a little bit deeper, but that's also not really a huge deal. So, I definitely enjoyed carrying this thing, as goofy as it is. And I've got a coworker who also likes knives and guns. He's up in the front of the building, so I walk up to him and I says, "Hey man, I brought a butterfly knife today." And he looks up and I hand this to him. And I became the incarnation of false hopes. It took him a second to process what was happening, but I felt so good about myself when I walked away. I definitely, I enjoy the goofiness on this thing. Now, the much better half has claimed this, so as soon as this is over, I'm going to sharpen it real quick and hand it off to her so she can do whatever she feels like with it. You know, she's got her own small collection of knives, and, you know, she'll use them for mostly opening packages, but she has them. So, cardboard slayer. I pushed this thing through the standard 500 cuts. The edge is still going pretty strong. Let's see if this still shaves. I doubt it, but... yeah, it's no shavo. That 500 cuts definitely took a toll. Let's get some copy paper out, and let's fail this cut because I'm on camera. Off camera, I was able to get plenty of these cuts, and they were all right. Let's see what I can do. Yeah, so you can hear it tearing as much as it's cutting. So, I mean, there is some noticeable wear on the edge. Let's see if I can get this up on camera. It's kind of hard to see, but that's a rough cut. So it held up really well to cardboard slayer, and those cuts were give or take 6 inches, a little more, a little less sometimes. So this thing munched 250 feet of cardboard, just like the other 500 cut champions that I put it through. That 500 cuts is about 250 feet of cardboard, give or take. So, you know, I keep being kind of pleasantly surprised that these things hold up to so much abuse and so many cuts. Like, I dread the day that I decide to sit down and take a nicer knife and put it through cardboard slayer. 'Cause that's gonna take forever. Like, I was in the war room for close to 2 hours cutting cardboard. And, I got so tired of it by the end. That's why I draw the line at 500. This thing could have kept going for a while. Now, cutting through cardboard, you know, this part back to about here cut pretty smoothly. It's just back here on this end, like the rest of these that have a hollow grind into a fairly large flat, it would hang up and you could hear it squeaking pulling it out of the cardboard. Like I really had to pull to get it back out of the cardboard. But other than that, mostly clean cuts, mostly smooth cuts. Sometimes the cardboard wouldn't cooperate and it tore as much as it cut. It didn't like what was happening to it. And of course, I cut it without consent because it's an inanimate object. Get your mind out of the gutter. And, overall, this thing was really good. This thing carried well, it cut well, it felt natural. Like these guys didn't feel supernatural to carry. You got the thumb plate, you got the odd size on this one. This one did okay, but it rubbed. This one, the ergos on it are pretty weird. I don't carry this style of knife. This one carried okay. This one carried, it's super annoying to carry, just on the back of this pocket clip. This one carried all right. And this one, it carried well enough, but everything else about it is garbage. So this was the absolute best one to carry so far. I hit this on episode 9, and I'm kind of glad I did. I didn't want one of these to just hit and freight train the whole field right out of the gate, and then first place stayed there for all 10 weeks. That would have been no fun for me and no fun for you. So as you can guess, this thing is definitely going to take first place. And this is a pretty easy cruise to first place, because this feels like the stuff I normally carry anyways. Pulling it out of the pocket like this was really comfortable coming out of the pocket. Didn't have to think about it. Didn't have to search to find it. Pulling it out of the waistband, over the belt, smooth, easy, clean, no issues. Putting it back in, with this being able to go over the belt, made it a lot easier than one that would only go over the waistband. So that was definitely a huge perk that I didn't give much thought before I tried this out as an over the belt all the time carry. It's still tucked inside the waistband, so the only thing you see is the clip and the little dingus in here. But that was really convenient. And I was kind of worried that the paint was going to rub off some before I gave it to the much better half. But no, it held up well enough. I know if I carried it and really beat on it, this paint wouldn't hold up. Like I've been through that before. So, it survived. So she gets a knife that's still as nice as it came out of the box. And once I sharpen it up, it'll be good to go. So we're going to move everything down a notch, and we're going to bump this to first place, and that will be a comfortable first. Now, I struggle to think of what I'm going to do to unload these things once this is all over. I've got one that I'm planning on keeping unless it just really doesn't perform. The wife wants this one, and they are going to be in a box doing exactly nothing from here on out. But, the end is nigh. We're moving on to episode 10 and the grand finale of the Temu edition of the Super Budget Showdown. So stay tuned for that. In a few minutes here, I am going to do the preview video for the next knife. You guys already know what it is. I have been edging for 10 weeks on that thing. I'm really looking forward to carrying it. And, I'll explain why in the preview video. But, this has been episode 9 of the Super Budget Showdown Temu edition. So, all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. We will separate out the cream of the crap. Subscribers, you guys are still coming in all the time. I'm grateful and I'm humbled. I love it. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me have it. All that being said, y'all have a nice day.